Hi, and welcome to A Moment in Time. An excellent way to do inner reflections for me is to use tarot and oracle cards. So in this general reading, I will be presenting to you some questions that obviously I'm going to answer for the general energy, but it's questions that you can then take and reuse for your own more specific inner reflection when it comes to self-awareness. You can either do this if you yourself are reading tarot, or you can just simply take the questions and write them down in your journal, diary, wherever you do that, piece of paper, and then answering them from there. I find them really useful when the doubts start creeping in. So I hope that the questions are gonna help you in your journey, becoming self-aware. Not becoming self-aware, obviously you are, but becoming more self-aware if that is what you are needing at the moment. So thank you for being here, and with that, I think we're just gonna get started. I'm just gonna move the cards away a little bit. And I always start my reading with sort of like a general energy card. And for the general reading today, I'm gonna ask the question, what do I know about myself? So for self-awareness and inner reflection, I find that question to be useful in the sense that it kind of, first of all, sets energy, but it also reminds you of things that have been lingering in your thoughts for a while that you know, but you don't really know. I almost want to say you don't maybe acknowledge as much. But anyway, let's see what's coming out here. Just shuffling the cards. What do you know about yourself? What do you already know about yourself? With that question, there's also this sense of there need to be some kind of recognition, right? So you know whether or not you are aligned with the cards when you are doing it. What do you already know about yourself? Let's see what's coming out here. And I got a card. Wow. So I need to put it here. The Sacred Union, Partnership and Romance. So obviously the obvious could be that you're a romantic person, that you want romance, maybe you have romance, but that maybe what I'm getting is that it's really interesting, because what I'm getting is that you are a romantic person, but you have maybe put a lid on it, either because your current partner or previous partners, whether you're single or not, have not really fulfilled that part. So romance, being romantic, wanting romantic gestures, that obviously could be many different things, right? That could be getting a bouquet of flowers now and again, or it can be, a nice letter, message, not necessarily letter. It can be so many things, right? So it's really about you figuring out, what is it actually for you? What is it actually to be romantic for you? What is it actually that you need for feeling that there's some kind of give and take is what I'm hearing. So it's almost, it feels to me that, you may be or may have had good relationships, but something have sort of been missing, or something is kind of missing, and you are knowing it, but you're not really aware that how much that wanting romance, whatever romance is for you, actually mean to you. It's almost like it's a base stone, right, that you want to build on, and if you remove that, so you can build a lot, but then it kind of get unstable because you don't have the block in the bottom. But obviously this could also be wanting to find the one relationship that is the right one for you, right? The one person, the twin flame, maybe even, because that's what I'm hearing. Partnership that's even give and take. So there's a lot in this card, but I also get more than that, because I keep focusing on this keyhole over here, and it's like there's a whole brand new world behind here that's kind of frosted over the glass, right? So you can't really see what's back there. You can see there's some trees and nature and stuff, but it's almost like something but something is hidden as well, right? It's really interesting. I'm gonna have a little bit of a closer look at it for a second. This woman is really happy, right? She's and it's hard to see whether the guy is or not, but they look very much in love. So there is this sense of wanting a better, more I want to say better relationship. And some of you that's on here may have a perfect relationship, and then maybe or maybe not, this reading could or could not be for you. But what I'm sensing here is really this hidden yet known part of you that knows that it could be better. It could be better than it have been in the past, whether that's been, other partners. But it's about seeking what you really want. So it's about getting clarity of what is behind here. What do you already know that you sort of like putting a damper on? So maybe that's the reflection that you need to do, and maybe that's what's coming forward in this reading. But let's have a look. I mean, that's what I'm getting just from this card. And it's especially that sense of romantic gesture. And at the same time, I'm feeling like a lot of you are going to say, no, I don't want romance. I mean, I really feel that. But this card suggests that, in a sense, you do. And maybe what you think up front is romance really isn't romance for you, right? So maybe you need to dig a little bit deeper within and see, well, what is romance actually for me? What is it actually that I need in a relationship to feel like my partner is going that extra step, right? That extra unnecessary step, in a sense, just to make you happy, right? And obviously that's both ways. It can be, men and women, it doesn't matter. And love, right? And I feel so much love coming from this, and especially from this little flower there in her hair. Flowers for me is all about love. So, and that's really open and really blooming. So it's almost like, with that, I'm getting that some of you also may feel like you've been hurt so much in the past that you're not sure you can open up to love in a certain way again. Maybe you've been hurt, we all have, I suppose, in the past, and you're not sure you can open up with the same sense of love, the same amount of love, that you have to be careful. That's kind of feeling I'm getting in with this card. So, very interesting. And obviously the guy too, right? He has armor on, right? So he is protected as well. So, and since I'm just reading for general and not for relationship here, it tells me that you may have armor on, that what you want and what you wish you also protect in some sense. So that is what you know already, and yet, there's some part of it that you should be recognizing, but that you maybe not completely clear of because of that frosted glass there, and there's no key in the keyhole there. I feel like you're aware of it, but I feel like you also kind of trying to fight it a little bit or push it away so that you don't think about it because you've been, I hear, discouraged in the past, which is a really funny word, discourage. But, maybe it haven't been fulfilled anyway. But the word I heard was discouraged. So whatever that means for you, please take that word. Let's move on to the next card. And that is, what are you hiding for yourself? So this one was, what are you aware of? What you sense, what you feel, what do you recognize? This is, what are you hiding for yourself? It may pop up now and again, and then you just discard it. Let's see, what are you hiding from yourself? What are you hiding from yourself? So that can be positive and that can be negative, right? That card here. All right, it's interesting. So what are you hiding for yourself? Can you see that card? 7 of Wands. So what I'm getting in with this is how guarded you are. I mean, this have so much wish and desire, and this is like whenever it comes in, you're fighting it. Or whenever it tries to come in is rather what I want to say, because I'm being corrected. And maybe that's the armor, right? That's really maybe what's coming in this card here. And yet the sun is in the back. So there is a sense of awareness coming into you that you have something that is fighting what you really want. It's almost like you are pushing it away. And obviously that's kind of what I said with the first card, but this is more like you're really fending yourself. You're really standing up for, this is so strange, you're standing up for what you don't want. Really interesting card. But I like the sun is there. I like the sun is coming out, because that does tell me that there's part of you that are becoming more aware that you might be fighting off what you really want. But that's actually what is hidden within you. What is hidden in you is that you are actually making obstacles for getting what you want. And I hear excuses sometimes even. I can do it on myself. I can do it alone. I'm fine by myself. Yeah, I do want a relationship, but, it has to be this and this and this. And there's nothing wrong with having standards and knowing what you want. But the sense I'm getting is almost like the list is one that if you were honest to yourself, you wouldn't even be able to meet yourself. So it's almost like you purposely fight off what you really want. Really interesting. Let's move on and see what's coming. The next card I wanna look at is, what is it that you need to let go of? So in this inner reflection, what's coming out here so far, more will come, but what is it that would be beneficial for you, if you resonate with this, to let go of? What do you need to let go of? I got this 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is obviously nightmares, usually a lot of negative thoughts going around, worries, doubts, all of that. Here it's in this deck, it's a bit more like, obviously that would be a nightmare too, right? The house is going apart, and the swords are hitting everything, and hitting you as well. So obviously that's a nightmare as well, but you need to let go of, because swords are thoughts, it's communication. to me is what the message in this that you need to let go of, that is the negative thinking about yourself, right? About your world around you and the way that you communicate with yourself and possibly others, possibly the ones that you really want. Maybe you're a little bit harsh, because swords can also be harsh and cold. It's almost like what I'm getting here is like you're so worried about disappointing yourself again by thinking that you can have this kind of love, or thinking that there can be even give and take in a relationship, or that you are romantic, you want romance, again, whatever romance is for you. And I don't think you have clearly defined that. And you have been in or more relationships where you have had some kind of hope for it and haven't received it, and now you feel like you don't want to be disappointed again, right? And in reality, that's about you don't want to be disappointing yourself for wanting something, but that desire, that wanting that you have is you. So the funny thing here is I'm almost getting that you're fighting off that part of yourself. You're trying to tell yourself it's not true. And that gives these, I want to say, nightmares. Because it's a sense of stress, right? When we don't believe in ourselves, that puts a stress on ourselves. Let's move on and see what the next card is. The next card would be how do you bring out the more positive aspect forward and into your life. So how do you bring your desire, wants, whatever you are fighting, right? What the good part of that, how do you bring that out into your life? How do you bring that forth within you? How do you make that come more into the light for you? How do you break the glass in reality so that you can see it very clearly what it is that you want, and that is part of who you are. That is part of you. You can just discard it and dismiss it. Let's see what's coming up here. So how do you bring the positive aspect? How do you bring that love and kindness and that, I hear respect. And that's interesting, because I was going to say, how do you bring that romance in? And then I heard respect. So what that tells me is that in that romance, that's for you also as a way for your partner to respect you, or you feel that the partner is respecting you. The partner can definitely be respecting you, even though you're not getting the romance, but it's part of your, I want to say DNA, obviously that's not literal, but it's almost like that romance is a respect thing for you. And I hear it's the little things that matters, which is interesting. So let's move on. How do you bring the positive aspect forward? How do you embrace it more so that you don't have to fight it and do self-sabotage whenever it comes near, right? Because it's what I'm getting from this. It's not exactly the self-sabotage card, but it is what I'm getting from it. Four of Pentacles. It's an interesting card to get from that. Obviously, Four of Pentacles, that's about saving. It's about holding on to something. It's about stability. It's about saving up. So I just need to try and figure out what they are wanting out in a message for you in regards to how you bring out the positive in you. I mean, obviously it's about holding on to what is dear to you, right? And usually that's for the Four of Pentacles, is about holding on to money, holding on to valuable things and not sharing with others necessarily. Because you want to save it, or you want to, make sure that you have for yourself. And maybe that's a good positive card in the sense that it is taking care of yourself. Usually I see the Four of Pentacles a little bit, I wouldn't say negative, more neutral, but yeah, usually it's like a one that doesn't really think too much about others in the sense of sharing, right? But maybe that's exactly what you need, because over here it's almost like you kind of have to put a lid on yourself and only sense what the other person wants. So it's almost like you are more, I hear worried about, but I'm not sure it's worried as in troublesome. But you're more worried about what the other person are feeling, thinking, and so forth. And the relationship that I feel you want here is an equal one, right? So you each need to be equally aware of the other. But I feel like because you are not expressing that romantic side of you because of past disappointments, it really is disappointments I'm feeling. You neglect that side, right? So, and if we neglect a part of ourselves that is really important to us, then it can never be an even give and take, because we are not in that balance with ourselves, right? So this card is really about that relationship maybe being with yourself. It can obviously be, and I feel both, to be honest, but usually I just read for the inner part. So that would be that union with yourself, that relationship with yourself, the thought about yourself. And the thoughts here is definitely in some aspect of yourself negative, right? And it's a feeling that has to do with that, either giving up on the love that you think you want, and it's not that you think you want it, it's actually that you do want it. But it's like you have decided, if I can't have it, I'm never going to be in a relationship, or if I can't have it, I have to let go of this side of me that wants this romantic gestures. Looking at it as an internal part, which this reading is very much about as well, right? It's looking within. It's almost like you are trying to let go of a part of yourself that I want to say the feminine side, which is interesting, because I do feel like it's a woman giving up something. So either it's a feminine side, that would be for some of you, wanting to be more masculine, to maybe deal with the world in some sense, maybe deal with the world with more armor, with, fighting off things. And the feminine side is about receiving, right? So it feels to me like you are exceptionally good at giving, but maybe not so good at receiving. And that could be the part that you are fighting off. So that obviously again comes back to a sense of not being good enough, that you put someone before yourself, that you put a part of you before yourself, before another part of yourself. And the flower's open, right? That's just bring it on kind of thing. I'm open, my heart is open. Where the male figure here, that part of you that I think you are more happy about within, are armored up. He's the fighter, warrior. And maybe that's part you have been needed for a long time. That's coming out in you there. And maybe where you are now, you need that more feminine, gentle, caring, loving side. And I don't feel like that gentle, caring, loving side. I actually feel you're good about giving it, but just not so much maybe to yourself. It's just interesting. So in coming back to this card over here, it would be positive, right? It would be a good thing to learn to hold on to what is fully you, what is actually your desire, what it is actually that you want, and not so much about, I mean, she's tending to him, right? That's a female side as well. That's a nurturing side. And from what I'm giving out here is that you need to get as well. See, you're good at that. You're good at giving. You're good at nurturing. You're good at being there for others. But you're not so good about receiving the same kind back. And from that card, that's what you want. You want even give and take. You want, I want to say perfection. I don't like that word personally, but that's the word I'm getting. You want perfection. So whatever perfection is for you, everything's have flaws. So that's why I don't like that word, but that is a word I'm receiving. So obviously I need to say it. So how to bring out the more feminine aspect of yourself is really about figuring out, easy to say, but that's what you can journal, right? That's what you can take more cards. That's what you can really go deep. But figuring out, why do you have a need to fight it off? Because they want to come out. With the sun up there, it want to come out. And it will try and break out again and again and again and again. And when you don't listen to that, that's when the negative mindset, the negative, and it doesn't mean talking bad about others. It could be, but it's that's not what I'm sensing here. This is more toward yourself, right? It's coming from nowhere, right? Because it's not anyone else throwing those swords. It's almost like they're coming from the universe to remind you. It hurts when you discard something so important, something so necessary from within you, of who you are. And with this card here, it says you need to focus on yourself. You need to become aware what you want. He knows what he wants. He's getting it, right? And you need to hold on to that. All right, let's try and move on. Let's see what else is coming out here. So the question I'm getting in my head is, how can you step into a higher vibration of yourself? And that question is maybe a little bit funny, but when we start vibrating on a higher level energetically, there's no so much room for all the negative thoughts, right? It becomes more about our own power, our own possibilities, our own love, because the more we love ourselves, the more we can give and get the same back, right? It's easy to just give, or it's easy to just take, but having that even give and take, unfortunately, it's a little bit rare, right? It doesn't mean that we can't create it, because we create it within ourselves first, and then we receive it in the outer world. Okay, so what can you do to step into a higher vibration of yourself? What can you do to step into a higher vibration of yourself? Okay, I have to change cards. Just 1 second, please. And I got this card here. And it's foundations. It's funny, that's about foundation a bit too. So I'm getting a lot from this card. Obviously, it's building, what I heard first is building your foundation, so your inner world, yourself, high enough that you have a clear vision of what you want. But what I also see here is she's kind of, it's almost like she's changing, right? It's almost like she's not clear, but she's forming. And since this is a woman, so again, it's a feminine side of you. It's a female energy, whether you're a woman or a man. It's like these building blocks are coming in and forming both the foundation that you're standing on as a female energy. But it's also about a change going on within you, right? So it's about having focus on the feminine side of you. How can you bring out that more? The more you bring out that feminine side, the higher your vibration is going to be. And you can bring that out more by holding on to what you truly wish, desire, want, and not disregard that as being silly. I heard the word silly. Because it's important to you. It is the grounding step. It's a first step. It's a building block. And these are building blocks, right? So once you allow that feminine side in, and I heard that maybe you feel that as being weak. There's an innocence there, and maybe you're afraid of that innocence. Afraid is maybe a tough word, but that's what I'm heard, afraid of the innocence. Maybe you need to define what innocent is for you, because for some here I sense that that's the same as being stupid, in a sense, or gullible. I hear the word gullible, but it's power. It's like it's a forgotten power. It's like that feminine side of you is your forgotten power. And that's what you're trying to fight off. And then you're not happy. You can't be happy if you're not whole. And she have a mask on. It's not covering her eyes, but she does have a little bit of mask on, which indicate to me that what you obviously can be hiding, but what I'm getting is sensing, the energy I'm receiving is you're not necessarily seeing clearly what that feminine side can do for you. There's so much power. I'm getting so much power from obviously that card especially, but I'm getting a lot of power from this as well. Because your foundation is going to be so strong. Once you have that aligned, the masculine and feminine side within you, you're going to be so strong, confident, I hear as well, right? Because you know what you want then. if we are fighting off a part of us, then there's always going to be some shaky ground. It's always going to be that dual part within us that's going to want something, but then disagree, or being afraid of, or fighting it off. A sense of self-sabotage, which is really what I'm getting with these two cards. That's the energy I'm getting. A lot of negative thoughts process about oneself I'm getting as well. It doesn't mean you can't think good thoughts about yourself as well, but that's what I'm getting. That's not a lot of I can't do, I shouldn't do, I get that. Shouldn't, couldn't, can't. Holding yourself back is the energy I'm receiving as well. And here, over here, clarity is coming in, right? So once you get that connection, once you're allowing the more feminine side within you, and I hear honoring her. So honoring you, that part of you, that innocent, romantic part of you. This is like childlike energy I'm receiving. It's so beautiful, actually, but very powerful at the same time. And this is about, the energy I'm receiving with that is, there's nothing wrong in wanting to receive what you give. And you should demand it. You should demand of yourself that what you give out is what you receive, right? But it could be that you are sometimes, but you're blocking it because you see that romantic and innocent part of you as being weak. And yet it's your strongest power, because it gives you clarity, it gives you stability, it gives you a really solid inner foundation to stand up, which obviously then will give you that sense of clarity and confidence. I really sense a really strong confidence. It's really hard to knock you about, right? And it's funny that the word innocent and that strength are connected. But that's what's coming out really strong in the energies for me doing this reading. So in order to step into a higher vibration of yourself is loving yourself fully, both the masculine and the feminine side. But in this reading, it comes out like the feminine side is maybe being neglected a little bit, or a lot, depending on who you are. But I feel it's there, and I feel you are a giver, right? That's really coming out. So obviously that sense of feminine side, you're really good at giving, but you have to take as well, right? You have to receive as well. I feel a really strong sense of you being really good at, I want to say, reading other people, or in this sense your partner, or you're really good at reading other people, and it's almost like you are 10 steps ahead of them in giving what they want. But because you are neglecting part of you, you're not so good at expressing what you need in return. You're actually fighting that. It's... And that hurts, right? And this is obviously more than just sadness, because this really hurts. It hurts to be hit by swords. So in order to vibrate higher, it's love. It's loving yourself, loving all aspects of yourself, because there's a lot of power in that. And then you can have what you want. Okay, so let's see maybe a last card here. what is a step, or what is something that you can do today, right now, in order to move in the direction that you do get this, right? You do get your sire. You do stop fighting it, become better at holding on and preserve and express what it is that you want in return for what you give, and bring out that innocent but extreme power, clarity, and really confident person that comes with having this really strong foundation, because you won't be easy to knock over or to being talked out of wanting something, is what I'm hearing. So that's interesting as well, isn't it? But anyway, let's see, what is a step that you can do now, today, in order to give yourself more love, right? Allow yourself to. I keep, whenever I say give yourself love, I'm really feeling this card really strongly about fighting it for some reason. Maybe it's something learned from the past. Maybe it's a sense of putting yourself first, which this card is in a sense. But at this point in your life, that's needed in order to get the balance that you want. The even give and take, the balance of life, the higher vibration. Because I get, and obviously that's this one over here, but I actually got that from this card too. Something spiritual, something higher connection. Maybe clear connection, because this is not completely clear, but it's there, right? So maybe a more direct connection. And that would be making a little bit sense, because it's obviously the feminine side, the feminine energy, that is the intuitive side, right? So you could be very intuitive, but you would also doubt it, because you're not, it's that energy I'm feeling is in imbalance, the feminine. So then obviously you can't clearly, or at least it's distorted somehow, the intuition you're getting in, or the belief in the intuition you're getting in, I'd rather say. All right, so what is the step that you can do today? Oh, just, soon, but today. Let's see. What is the next step? What is what you can do today to bring more of that good stuff out? The confidence, the happy, integrated, balanced, harmonized person, right? Loving, because you love yourself. Okay, so what is the step you can take today in order to start that journey? And again, I think you have already started that journey, because there's the sun up here. The sun is out. So you are considering it. It is popping up for you. The soul is shining through, right? That's how kind of how I feel it. So that higher connection that you maybe want, that's happening, and it needed to happen as well, in order for you to know it's there and want it, right? All right, let's see what just came here. What is the next step you can take today? Death. That's an interesting card coming out there. Obviously, death is just ended. Like, just finish the nonsense. Stop talking bad about yourself. New beginning. Brand new beginning. Letting go of the skeletons. Is a skeleton here in the closet, right? Let go of it all. You don't need it. This is an end for a new beginning. This is like, I want to say, not the death, not literally in any form of way, right? But it's the death of your thought patterns, I feel like. Because I feel like I want to put it sort of like between those, but more over here with the source being negative. So for me, that resemble a focus. And she's very focused, right? She's looking at one direction only. So she focused on what gives her that higher vibration, because that was what that card was about. How can she keep improving the version of herself, right? And that's what happening here. She's letting go of what's not needed and bringing new in that's better, solid, better, higher vibration of herself, better version of herself. And obviously there's a step that you can take, to say it simply: stop doing this, stop fighting it off, stop thinking bad about yourself. And obviously that's a really easy thing to say, a lot harder to do. So I wanna kind of get into this a little bit more, because that sun coming up behind there too, right? So obviously that's awareness, and this reading is about being more self-aware. So the more you work with that inner reflection, the more you work with that, and I hear truth of self-awareness, the more the more it's going to be shed off, right? And you're going to be standing not in your skeleton, because I feel like I feel like that's too dark an energy saying that, and that's not what I'm feeling at all. But it's almost like the layers being shed off, sort of like over here, in order to rebuild yourself in a better and stronger way. So it's almost like this, but something needs to die, and it's not something, it's not someone, it's not you. It's a thought pattern, because I really feel like it's connected to this one. So you need to figure out and start that today. How do I change my thought pattern? So that could be a question to ask yourself, right? Why do I have a need to think negative about myself? Why do I feel like I need to talk myself down? Those kind of questions, and don't be satisfied with the first answer. Our mind tends to just give the easy answers first, but the root cause is always deeper, right? So keep asking, maybe over days, maybe over a month, until you feel you have, he understood, but until you really have, understood the question. I keep hearing understood, so I'm gonna use that word. So it's a death of who you see yourself as now, so that you can step into, and the sun rising up there, so that you can step into the truth of who you are, and that's high vibration, right? So in reality, the next step is journal. It's doing this, if you have tarot cards and if you're into that, ask yourself the difficult questions, and the sun will rise. I mean, it is in a sense, but be brighter, bigger, stronger. And sun obviously is happiness, right? Happy about being in your own skin, so to speak. Not needing someone to make you happy, because you are, when you let go of that. When you know what is important from you, and you dare to hold on to it, and you dare to express it, right? And you dare to love yourself, because that is what's going to bring it in. That's what's going to bring this in. That sense of partnership, union, friendship can even be that you really want. I feel like I should leave it here, and yet I feel like I want to speak on, but I am actually getting a strong sense of just stopping the reading here, and then I'm just gonna say maybe look at some of the questions that came up in this reading, find your own questions, and dive deeper into this, right? For yourself. And as I said earlier, don't just take the first answer as the truth. It always holds part of a truth, but it's not necessarily the root cause. You have to keep asking in order for the mind to dig deeper, right? Go deeper within. Obviously, you can also meditate, but I feel like writing. So that may be, for some of you, the best way. And even if you do via tarot and oracle cards, which I think is an amazing tool, writing it down too is important. Because you can also see, when you write it down, you can see the negative thoughts better, right? When you do it on your own. You can understand what are they actually, because we're so used to them that we don't really notice they're there. But they're really controlling. So that can be, because I just stopped there because I felt like controlling relationship too, which I didn't do before now. So it could be that in the past or now, you are in a controlling relationship, and that's obviously not even give and take, right? And if you are or have been, you would have given or are giving more of yourself than you are receiving. So if that's the case for you, I would suggest that you really sit down and work on figuring out why you need that. Why is there a need within you to feel less than others? And there are, there are in anyone that's giving more than they are allowing themselves to receive. That is because you're not feeling good enough. So why are you not feeling good enough? What is it within you that bring that forward? Because you are. This is a strong foundation. And this is such a beautiful, loving, kind wish, and it's in so much harmony and balance. And so what you wish for is not fake. It's the truth. It's not an illusion. And you can have it, but you need to look within. What is it that stops you? That's your thoughts about yourself and maybe around your surroundings, because they're cracking as well, right? So the way you think about yourself, and the way you think about yourself is important, because then if we don't think we deserve it, we fight it off, right? So self-sabotage. And that can be very small things in life, and it can be on a whole lot bigger level. And obviously, if you are in a controlled friendship, partnership, yeah, I'm just getting that. So for some of you, it would be like that. That's not the love that you're seeking. Obviously, you know better what you seek than I do, but that's just what's coming through for me. That's not even give and take. And obviously, here I'm getting a negative vibe for the control. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now, and talk to you again next week. If you do feel like it, I would very much appreciate if you would leave a comment describing what your next move is for you. What is the next move? What is what you want to look at right now? Or how did this reading resonate with you? And the reason is because I care, but also because it makes yourself a little bit more accountable for actually moving forward with what it is that you want. With that, I am just saying thank you so much for listening and being here. I appreciate it very much. And thank you for now.